Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2024. I want to talk to you today about a session that I've designed with the focus on 1v1s towards the sideline. And one of the things I've been really focusing on with my players is being able to pull 1v1 moves, but understanding when and where to pull the moves. And now I'm not saying, oh, well, you're on your own third, don't play it here. I'm talking about actually like knowing which move to pull in which situation. And for a lot of players, I think it's a lot of feel, it's a lot of creativity, it's a lot of just kind of having a sense of the game. And I think sometimes that's something you can't always develop. What you can develop is for the players that don't innately have that ability, is teaching them a couple like a toolbox of tricks that they can pull upon in certain situations that they know. And I think with that, you can create and foster more creativity. You're not going to have a player that some players just aren't messy. They can't just innately see space and pull this move because they know this is where the ball should be. They have other skill sets, but we can develop some of those skill sets within that. And I think one of the situations I find my players often get stuck in is, especially on a smaller field, small-sided games, 77, 99, I find them drawn to the sideline because the center of the pitch is so congested. They get drawn out, but we're not realizing that the sideline is going to act as a secondary defender. The sideline is going to act as an impediment to your progressing because if the ball goes out, we lose the ball. If you pass the ball to the other player, we lose the ball. So either or, we're not in a good situation. We want to make sure that we are keeping possession. So I have a session here that I've worked on with the focus of getting out of those situations. Now, not telling them exactly how to get out of those situations, but giving them a checklist of options that they can utilize to try to get out of situations where they're pinned on the sideline and create an opportunity for a pass or a dribble past their defender. So start here, just working a little technical work. Call this two-cone slide. They dribble up here. Okay. I do a roll from the outside cone to the inside cone and push to the outside cone, roll to the inside cone, push to the outside cone, roll to the inside cone, push to the outside cone. I also do scissors within it, but the one I think I focus on here for sidelines is the L turn here. And I talk to them about push to the outside. You don't want to dribble up to the cone and be like square with it. You want to come at an angle because we want to get the defender to bite to one side. We want to drive hard this side. So the defender who's running at us probably this way, going to the sideline, is going to overcommit because they think we're going to try to drive out the sideline. If they think we're going this way, they're going to try to cut us off. If they do that, they're going to overextend this way, and they're going to leave space behind. So we want to come in at an angle, drive them one way, and then we want to change direction. And that's where our L turn comes in. And I talked about you don't want to just pull an L turn. You don't want to just pull a scissor. You don't want to pull a step over. You don't want to just pull a move. You want to pull the move to do something, to create space, to go somewhere with it. So the move is important to beat your defender, but where you go with it after is infinitely more important because you can pull a move, defender goes flying by, but you don't really have great connection on the ball, or the ball slips away from you, or it touches too far, and a secondary player might get it, or that player might recover. So what I'm looking for here is out of the L turn to find that back cone. So your next touch after the L turn is set up to drive to the outside cone. And it's working on precision, and I'm talking about the cones being defenders, and we're aiming for certain areas. So it's not just dribble around this cone, dribble here, dribble through these cones. It's can you set yourself up in a way that drives you to the next area? So there's obviously there's instant feedback. You drove too hard, the ball goes past the cone. Didn't drive hard enough, you have to take 3 or 4 touches. You didn't have a good angle, it goes through the gate. And I talk about if it goes through the gate or hits the cone, all right, that's a defender. You lost the ball. So it's a lot of instant feedback within a good technical warm-up, I think. Okay, so now we will go. I like this one for the element of scanning. When you're in these situations, we're on the sideline, we're getting pinned. We're basically in a 2v1 with the sideline not helping us out here. So what a lot of players will do is they'll eventually just start to keep their head down and not look for options. And what ends up happening is they end up getting put under pressure and don't have the information to make the right decision to get out of the situation that they've been put in. And they kind of hit their head down, and it's easy for a defender to then just push them to the sideline, either push the ball out for a throw for them or us, or win the ball and break and go down the sideline. So what I work on here is the scanning element. So we have the defender pass the ball through these gates. The attacking player runs after it. So it has to go through the gate, and we want the gate kind of angled. So we're going to make sure that it gets to the attacking player. And the defender then follows up, and we go 1v1 to goal here. And we can have a goalie in there. We can have a small-sided goal, pug, whatever it may be. But here, what's happening is the player's running to the ball. And this will happen, like a through ball out wide. They're running to it. They get to the touch line. They have to scan. They have to be looking for, hey, where is this defender that's going to be able to put pressure on me? Where are they? So I can then, turn them or cut to the inside or play an outlet pass because they're too close to me. So we're really working on, while we're not on the sideline here, we're working on elements that are going to be advantageous to that. And then where I'd go from there is, and you might want to just put this on the part of the field so it makes more sense to them, but I create a grid here. And I put a little gate here. And I put a defender. I put an attacker. The line for the attackers is here. And the defender is here. So the attacker starts with the ball. They have to dribble through the gate here. This yellow gate. Once you go through the yellow gate, that activates the defender. Now they can score one of two ways. They can score here between the red and blue cone, which I'll make bigger than the other goal, or they can score here in a small goal. So while the option to go, past the defender and go forward is there, we don't want to take that away because that is a good look if we can get there. We also want to promote the opportunity to turn inside and find a switch, because what can happen is, what I found a couple games ago, we got in a situation where every time we went outside, the defender just jockeyed us out of bounds, and we didn't really have anything to do to get out of that situation. So what we're working on here is we drive in here. They push here. We either want to be able to, if they take a bad angle, we read it. They're on our hip. We drive through, and we score a goal through that gate. If they're able to cut us off, we want to, we have other options, but, going back to the L turn, we can pull an L turn here and try to pass through that gate. So we're recreating this situation over and over and over again, and getting them to get comfortable with the idea of, if you're here, we don't want to go out of bounds. We want to go through either forward here, or we can go sideways and try to go through centrally, which would be a pass to a through ball or breaking a line or a cross, whatever it may be. We can then amp that up and make it 2v2. Maybe make the grid a little bit bigger than it is right now. But we also add the third option of, hey, if we drive here, we're under pressure, we can go backwards to go forwards and find an outlet for that pass there. And then what I would do from there is I would have a scrimmage, but I would make the field narrow. So you're seeing, by narrowing the field, the center of the pitches are going to be much more congested, and you're going to find that there's much more out of bounds, much more play towards the sideline, and that's what we want to see. We want to recreate the situation as many times as possible in a session. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be a lot of stop starts with throws and stuff, but they're going to get to see what you've worked on in action throughout the session. So I'd love to hear some of the situations that you find 1v1s and teaching 1v1s that you kind of find your players struggling with, or you kind of thought for a second, like, hey, maybe we can turn that into a session, and kind of see what, how you utilize those situations and how you teach moves within that. Or is it a little more structured? Is it a little more, you allow them to kind of figure it out for themselves? How do you guys do it? So once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching with Alvin Academy Sports Coach 2024. I hope this session finds you well.